Sunday, August 20th, we set out on a 15-hour trip to Miami, Florida, and we split the journey up into 2 days. We finally arrived Monday morning and loaded onto the shuttle that would take us over to the ship. Unlike the last cruise, we had a whole crew with us this time. It was my daughter Lindsay, my son Devlin, my mother and father-in-law CT and Cher, their friends Billy and Linda, and of course my wife Tony and me.
Out here.
Hey woman, we're on the way.
We are.
After a short drive, we arrived at the port of Miami. A cruise just isn't a cruise without our friends John and Jessica.
Stalkers.
We all purchased the Faster to the Fun program, so we were able to get on board very quickly. After watching the last video, everyone was excited to take that first step onto the deck of the ship. There's nothing like when you first step into the atrium of the cruise ship for your vacation. It's the sights and the smells and knowing that your vacation has just begun and there's no turning back. One of the benefits of the Faster to the Fun program is that your room is ready for you pretty much whenever you board the ship, and so that's what we did. We headed for our cabins. Normally we get the aft cabin, and this time around we got the wraparound aft cabin, so the first thing we did was headed out to take a look at the deck. After settling into our rooms, we decided to do a little exploring and get some food. And although it was early in the day, some of us got drinks to kick the cruise off right. Normally we take this time to walk around the cruise ship and get our bearings, but that all stopped short as soon as we found cheesecake.
Oh, look at the size of that piece.
Sounds like these. I wish that YouTube's here.
After a few bites of cheesecake, my son and I found the arcade. Our cruise director, Philippe, had been making announcements that the eclipse would be happening soon, so we decided to go topside to take a look.
It's about 2:30 right now, and the eclipse is supposed to be happening soon, so we're going to try to get as much of it on film as possible.
Well, the eclipse came and went, and there really wasn't much to see in Miami.
So we just finished up with the muster station, and we're going to be leaving soon, but it's raining. So one of my favorite parts of the cruise is to hang out in the back, and we're not doing that right now because it's raining. So we're going to see if it continues to rain, or maybe when we get underway we'll go to a place where it's not raining so much. Then I can hang out in the back and watch the ship leave.
Tony's parents had the cabin right next to ours, so we had our room attendant, Suriati, open up the doorway in between the two decks.
Well, it's almost 6 o'clock and we're getting ready to go to dinner. It's our first dinner for the cruise. Anyways, you can see it's bright and sunny out here. It's pretty warm. Weather was looking bad before we left, but it's now nice and sunny out, and we're kind of hoping the rest of the trip stays this way. We saw that there might be some hurricanes in our path, but it's nothing we haven't dealt with before. So now we're on to dinner.
After dinner, we went and watched Lindsay participate in a guys versus girls show that involved a lot of running around the stage. Somehow or another, the guys cheated, so after some deliberation by the judges, they decided that the women had won.
And at the same time,
John and Jessica joined us for a couple of rounds of bingo. Then it was off to the punchliner for a comedy show. Soon after, we all went back to our cabins and got some much-needed sleep.
Finally at Key West.
We went to the Key West Butterfly and Nature Conservatory on Duval Street, and CT and Cher went inside to get some pictures. One of my son's favorite stories is The Old Man and the Sea, so of course we had to go to the Hemingway house. Then it was off to Sloppy Joe's for some lunch. Well, we just left Key West. It's about 2 o'clock now, and we've all sort of split up and gone our separate ways. Later on this evening, we're going to be doing the elegant evening, which means that we're all going to put on our monkey suits and try to look respectable. Since it's now getting about an hour away from 3 o'clock coffee, we're probably going to go find another piece of cheesecake, and Devlin's probably going to want to go to the arcade again, I'm sure. And I just finished getting some clothes pressed so that we look halfway decent for this evening. And yeah, that's what's going on right now. So we'll go and find some kind of dessert and some kind of coffee, because that's what we do whenever we're on a cruise. And we'll go and do our elegant evening. Since the weather was so nice, we went for a quick round of putt-putt, and when we got back, we found that CT and Cher had enjoyed our tradition of getting a snack before the dinner. Soon, we all got dressed up for dinner, and we met down at the dining room, but not all of us were happy about it.
I'm cursed with this clothing right here. Sickening. But I have to do this. I want to go down to the arcade.
It's just like a carnival cruise to be right in the middle of dinner and have a dance party break out. After dinner, we all went our separate ways and found things to do on the ship. But then it was time for bed so that we could get up the next day and go to Cozumel. That morning, we slept in a little and enjoyed a nice breakfast. Later, we ran into Billy and Linda, who were having breakfast on the Lido deck. Before long, we made our way into Cozumel.
So, we have finally reached our destination. The water is very, how do I put this? Great! We're getting ready to go on to our excursion, which is, Jeeps, apparently. Jeeps. Alright.
We'll go look for crocodiles.
Huh? When in the world did I agree to go snorkeling with those? In
Cozumel, we all did different excursions. Billy and Linda went on a submarine. CT and Lindsay went snuba diving. Meanwhile, Cher, Tony, Devlin, and I got in a Jeep and headed for Punta Sur. First, we stopped off at a lighthouse where Devlin and I climbed to the top. Next, we drove to a separate part of the beach to do some snorkeling. After a quick Mexican buffet, we headed over to the lagoon to look for the crocodiles. Devlin and I climbed to the top of the watchtower to look for the crocodiles and didn't find anything. It was only after we got down that our guide told us that they were right underneath of our feet the whole time. Soon after, we loaded into the Jeep and headed back to the cruise ship. Once on board, we had a late dinner, we got some showers, and we went to bed. The next morning was our fun day at sea, which meant one thing: brunch. We went to a show to learn how to fold towel animals. No cruise is complete without a hairy chest contest. What some of the contestants lacked in hair, they made up for in enthusiasm.
Chest contest winner, contest with me. Hey, heads.
After a quick bite of pizza, we headed over to the Love and Marriage show, where this happened.
to enjoy this moment. Just so you know, there's no coincidence. Nothing happens for no reason. This man has been talking to me, from day one he has been thinking that we put something together, so we wanted to surprise you. So congratulations, Alexis. Thank you, darling.
I have no clue what that stuff down there is. What is all that yellow? Did this ship forget to brush its teeth and now all that plaque is falling off of its teeth?
It's 3:30 and it's the last day of the cruise. Right now the sky is really overcast and it's cool outside. It's not raining, but the sun's not beating down either. There's a nice breeze blowing here on the balcony. It feels pretty good outside. Sometimes you wish the whole cruise was like this, because on the days when it's hot, it's really, really hot. And it's nice to take a break from the sun, but other times you really want the sun to be shining. It makes the days prettier, and sometimes it's nice to have all that sunshine, especially whenever you're in the Caribbean. Because later on, whenever you're at home and it's wintertime and it's cold or wet and nasty, you can think back and remember being in St. Thomas or St. Martin or Cozumel, wherever you happen to be, and you think about the sunshine and the nice weather. So it's kind of nice to have it cool and breezy right now. So we still have a few things left to do, and we're winding down the days here on our vacation since this is our last day. And then we have a day's worth of travel left whenever we get back.
Once again, we found our way to the arcade, and then afterward, we put on our funny tourist shirts for one last dinner in the main dining room. After dinner, we went to an 80s trivia show that ended up turning into a huge sing-along. Then we took in one last comedy show, and then said our goodbyes to John and Jessica. Then it was off to bed on our last night on the cruise ship. That morning, we pulled into Miami and went down and enjoyed another breakfast in the main dining room.
It's all over, woman. Now we get to make the long drive back.
Love you.
Love you. That doesn't change the fact that we have to make the long drive back.
We didn't kill anybody yet. That's a good thing. Well, of course, we still got 15 hours in an RV. Well, actually, a lot longer than that because we got to stay overnight.
Mm-hmm.
On the ride home, we talked about all the great things that we did on the cruise. This was a first-time cruise for Billy and Linda and CT and Cher. I think they had a good time. As we headed back, I remember thinking to myself, we're not really going home. We're just going on a long excursion in between cruises.